Sorry, I had a spam call that just showed up right out of the blue. You know what? I'm not stopping. I have to keep going because this is important. You know, this is, because, and I understand. I know death is going to come to lots of people in life. It does. I mean, no matter what form of life, no matter what form or walk of life you are, be you different colors, skin, gender, religion, whatever. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that death sucks. It does. And, I've lost several teammates throughout the course of my life. And I've contemplated suicide myself. But that really does go into why I feel that, I was able to reconnect with my parents. Now, keep in mind, this technically happened before the pandemic, but it definitely stays strong here. It was around the time that my grandfather died. And we're actually having calling hours. And, I had a private moment with my father. So, I asked him, you've experienced death a lot in your life. I mean, he's actually seen people die right in front of him. In the case of my grandfather, right behind him, because he was actually driving the car on the way to the hospital, and it was in the car. That's when my grandfather finally passed. He witnessed, my aunt die. A couple of my aunts die, actually. His Uncle Nicky, my namesake, him dying. My neighbor's dog. So he's no stranger to death. And so I asked him, how do you do it? How do you just, witness death like this and not flinch? And so he told me the following. Well, it is going to happen. And, there really isn't much you can do about it, but the best you can do is sort of, give yourself an opportunity to toughen yourself up and prepare for it. Now, yes, some people could see that and say, well, that's pretty casual and not very helpful. But the way I see it is, with loss comes an opportunity for you to think about all the wonderful memories you have and be thankful that the person, or possibly pet maybe, that you lost was part of your life to begin with. So, I may not have known Andrew Einstein for very long, but he was my teammate in cross country. And he actually did laugh at my one Barstoners joke. So, in that regard, of course I'm thankful that he was a part of my life. I mean, Sean Bertanza, I didn't necessarily know him that well, other than he was my teammate in cross country. He played basketball. He had an afro. He was in my English class. You can bet I'm thankful he was a part of my life. Dan Manganero I only knew for 1 year because he was a freshman and I was a senior. But he had such promise, and he went on to do so many great things in terms of sports and becoming a doctor. Of course I'm thankful he was a part of my life. So, there you go. I guess there's nothing really left to do or say but to make a couple of dedications. So, this video is dedicated to several groups of people. My brothers at Trinity Poly, the good people in my home area, my homeboys and homegirls, the Bertanza, the Manganero, and the Einstein families, my family as a whole, to my father, Harold, or Buddy, is what everyone calls him. And that was actually another low point, too. That 2 weeks my father was in the hospital. Holy cow. My mother, Sharon. Even though I just said earlier, our relationship is still pretty shoddy at best. My brother and his wife, Harold, or Hal, and Katie. Listen, I know you didn't want your names to be named, but come on, it's day 1000. It's gotta be special, right? And to my 2 nephews, Paxton and Miles. You know, oh, a bug on me. To Annie and all who watch this. You know, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching and going to continue to watch. You know, I've done a lot of extraordinary things that I didn't even think I could do in these last 1000 days. And yeah, some of those things I wish didn't happen, but I can't take it back. So, the way I see it is this. Altogether, I'd say about 9% of these 1000 days are what I would consider a low. But you know what? That's fine with me, because that means that's a 91% high. And that's still an A in my book. So I can definitely live with that. So, to all my friends and family who are watching this, you know, pretty obvious, I love you all. You know, that goes out saying, you know what? I said earlier that the relationship I have with my parents, specifically my mother, is so strained that I will be honest, I can't remember the last time I said these following words to my mother. She doesn't really watch my videos, actually. In fact, the other day I said that she has no idea what arbitrary means. She really does believe that me making these videos is nothing short of a desperate cry and attention, a desperate cry and plead for attention and help, which not really how arbitrary works at all. Listen, I could do an entire video of just the plain sheer atrocities my mother and her side of the family's committed on me alone. But my mother and father raised me to believe I was above that. And so I am. But with that said, she's never going to watch this. So I guess it's okay for me to say these words that I haven't said to my mother in I don't know how long. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. And even though I may not necessarily feel like I 100% mean it, it definitely feels right to say. And it definitely feels a little bit cathartic to do. So, I love you, Hal. I love you, Katie. Thank you for being in my life and giving me the greatest gift ever. I became an uncle because of you two. I love you, Paxton, and I love you, Miles. You are the reason I wake up every day with a smile on my face, and I will continue to do that through all the days of the rest of my life. Sorry, I just thought about something my late grandfather said after I ran my first marathon. He said I plan to be there all the days of my life. Well, for better or for worse, he was there until I was in my 30s. And I can be thankful he was in my life for that long anyway. So, thank you. All of you who watch will continue to watch. And so, you know, I never really did do an act of kindness throughout these 1,000 days, have I? To really sum it up. Well, in a way, one act of kindness I do is in memory of a teacher I had back at Horseheads. The very one who inspired me to say, make good choices. And I hope all of you make good choices as well. Before, during, and after you watch technically 2 of these videos, because again, I was really interrupted by some spam call. Darn it all. It was so beautiful too. That's life, I guess. So, I am beyond humbled. I've been doing this for 1,000 days. I am hopeful I'll continue to do this, and whether or not you feel it, I hope I continue to make you all proud going into the future, well into the future. And always remember, if you ever need to say something, or you need someone to talk to or listen to what you have to say, I'm always going to be around. I'll be happy to listen to what you have to say. Because remember, I've stared at the abyss. I've been there. So I know. I know more than anyone. So I'm always going to have your back. And so, with the humblest of askings, I suppose, I say, take care, all of you, today. And make good choices. Now, if you excuse me, I have to prepare to close down this cottage and get ready for my cousin Hudson's 3rd birthday today. See you guys.